afternoon, y'all. Welcome to another Coffee with Connect. And today's coffee mug is baseball, because I'm excited. Baseball's coming back. May not be exactly like we want it to be, but you know what? Baseball's coming back, and I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports. So yay for that. I've already done an episode with the Louisville Slugger mug and told you a little bit about that. And I got this at the Louisville Slugger Museum, in case you missed that one. But yeah, it just felt like the right kind of mug to grab for today. So welcome. We get together every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9:30 in the morning, and we're going to dive into God's Word here for a couple of minutes. And for the next few days, well, actually the next 2 days, I guess, we're going to be looking at Romans chapter 12, just so you know, and we're going to go through our process of pray, read, think, write, do, with 2 sections from Romans chapter 12. So let's take a look. We're going to be Romans chapter 12, verse 3 is where we're going to be at today. I'm in the NLT. Verse 3 says this: if you haven't prayed, please make sure that you pray. And now let's read. So let's read here. It says, because of the privilege and authority God has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith God has given us. I love how blunt that Paul is here when he's talking. As I'm thinking about this, because of the privilege and authority that God's given me, or another translation is because of the grace God's given him. Paul was given a lot of grace by God, and God used him in spite of the things that he did, and he never shied away from admitting where he had been and where God had brought him, and that's just a huge part of his story in terms of evangelizing and all of that, which is another aspect that we can learn from. But in spite of the things that he had done, God had given Paul a lot of grace, and he was being honest about that. The Lord always has a way of bringing us back down to earth, whether we want to admit it or not, because God can use anyone, and sometimes we go opposite extremes, but at the end of the day, man, pride can get in the way, and that's a lot of what this is alluding to here. And so as we write, as we read, we think, we write, what stands out to you? What's God saying to you here about this? Because it's pretty, it's a pretty obvious passage here. There's not a ton to read into it other than exactly what it's saying. Don't think you're better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves and measure yourselves by the faith that God's given you. So what do you do with that? Well, we see ourselves for who we really are, and when we do that, our pride in a lot of ways is much more difficult to give into. It makes it difficult to give into our pride when we see ourselves for who we really are, and also see ourselves for the way that God sees us, because we need Him. He doesn't need us. God doesn't need anything. He doesn't need me, but He loves me, and He loves you, and He loves you just the way that you are. But when we drop our pride, we can be more effective. We can be more effective for Him, and we can make a difference in other people's lives as well, because pride is not getting in the way. So that's my takeaway from that. Wonder what yours might be, and how God's maybe speaking to you personally, individually, through that. Be sure to like the video, share it, subscribe, all of those things, because you never know the difference that it can make in someone else's life. So I will see you on Saturday at 9:30 as we go into another part of Romans chapter 12, where we will have coffee and connect to Christ's community and purpose and God's Word together. See you then.